So now, it is my absolute honour and privilege to introduce you to Skye. Skye is a student from the Naracoorte Independent Learning Center. She was heavily involved in the forum, and today she'll be sharing with you her journey. So please be upstanding to welcome Skye to the stage.
Hello, thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my story with you. Thanks to the Arbonne Charitable Foundation for supporting part of my journey by providing financial assistance and making it possible for the Naracoorte Independent Learning Center to organise and run events such as the Youth Mental Health Forum in 2015. Life for me started in a small country town in South Australia called Naracoorte. Shortly after I was born, my father was put away in jail, leaving me and my older brother with only a drug-addicted mother. Looking back on my childhood, I don't really recall too many happy times. We moved constantly, and I never really constantly went to school. So I didn't have very many friends. Dad got out of jail and Mum got pregnant again and then again. By the time I was 4, I had a younger brother and sister to help look after since Mum was constantly getting high or sleeping as she was coming off the drugs, or in the depths of depression after being diagnosed with cervical cancer. I cooked our meals, did the shopping, washing, and basically looked after the house from as long back as I can remember. When my sister was only 3, she was badly burnt by a pot of boiling water that my brother accidentally tipped over onto her. After, I constantly worried about what would happen to my siblings if I went to school if I wasn't there, so I didn't go very often. When my siblings were old enough to go to school themselves, I was the one to get them ready in the morning and take them, usually making myself late, so I was often in trouble. I struggled with many classes because I was so behind and I was constantly bullied by other kids. I ended up hating school. As I started high school, I remember being excited that things could be different, but they weren't. In high school, I continued to get bullied, my mum continued doing drugs, and Dad was once again in jail. It was during this time that I was diagnosed with depression, which was actually a relief because I finally had an answer to why I felt and acted in a negative way. When I was 14, Mum kicked me out because I didn't get along with her boyfriend at the time. I had nowhere to go, no money, no one to support me, or so I thought. Then I learned about the Naracoorte Independent Learning Center, a school who helped with SACE completion, mental health and wellbeing, whose core values are commitment, opportunity, respect and equality. I didn't know much else besides that, but I just took a deep breath and walked in the door. It was the scariest thing I've ever done, but I immediately felt welcome and safe, a feeling I'd never had before. Just last October, I was part of a group of students who organised AAC's Youth Mental Health Forum that was attended by over 1,000 youth. This was only made possible thanks to the support of the Arbonne Charitable Foundation. I learnt a lot over the years about myself from the experience, including that the depression I and even my mother had suffered for years was actually quite common. I also learnt about so many other places I didn't even know existed that can help people like me. The forum also helped me realise that I want to be the one in the family to make a difference to break the cycle we seem to be trapped in. That I don't want the same kinds of relationships my mum had for herself. I deserve better. The Mental Health Forum inspired me to be a better person and to help others understand that life will be okay for them. I was so excited to recently discover that the Arbonne Charitable Foundation has once again supported another mental health forum to be held in 2017. I am really looking forward to being able to assist another group of Year 11 students in a more leadership role with the next forum. It is so important for young people to know they are not alone and where they can go to get support. By holding another forum next year, more students and more community members will feel comfortable openly talking about mental health and break down the stigma that is often attached to such. To be recognised with an Australian Day Award for the best community event was such a huge accomplishment and provided a great deal of excitement at the Independent Learning Center. It was fantastic to be recognised in such a positive way by our community, and a real buzz that such a small group of people could make such a big difference to so many people in our community. Being involved in organising this event, it gave me the opportunity to develop many skills I didn't even realise I had. Organisation, time management, working closely with others to organise the day, and even having to speak to people I didn't know were all things I developed in. Without the forum, I certainly would not have had the confidence to be here today to share my story. This year, I returned to the ILC to complete my Year 11 and start and finish Year 12. This has meant that I am quite overloaded with subjects compared to most other students. It's been harder than I thought it would be, but I know I can do it. My life journey so far has been a roller coaster, a mix of intense emotions and experiences, highs and lows. And there never seems to be a warning as to what's coming next. But with the help from the forum, I've learnt to look for the good in life and appreciate the ride. Yes, life has been tough, but it's still worth living. I look forward to my future, starting with finishing my SACE at the ILC and finding employment. At ILC, I've had some amazing opportunities. I had my first leadership role at the forum. I recently published a recipe book called Cheap and Cheerful, and I'm really excited for my upcoming volunteer trip with my ILC Year 12 classmates to Cambodia this October. Today I stand in front of you as a young woman feeling the strongest I've ever felt. For one of the first times in my life, I'm feeling positive about my future and looking forward to my life ahead. Like the quote says, it takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. I have finally found that courage, and I have all of you and the Arbonne Charitable Foundation and everyone at the AAC to thank for that. Thank you for listening.